Every single time your phone flashes that little 5G symbol, it's doing something pretty amazing. It's performing this incredibly complex yet super elegant dance with the network. And it's all happening in the blink of an eye. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and break down the steps to this invisible, high-speed choreography. I mean, really, stop and think about it for a second. You take your phone out of your pocket, and boom, it just works. But how? In the sea of radio waves all around us, how does it pinpoint exactly the right signal and lock on so fast? Well, that's the magic we're getting into. So here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with the big picture, what we're calling the connection dance. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty with the 3 key steps. First, finding the signal, then doing the network handshake, and finally, staying connected. And at the end, we'll see how all these smarts add up to the 5G experience we actually use. All right, let's get into the actual choreography. This whole process isn't random at all. It's actually a very precise 3-step routine that every single 5G device goes through to get online. And we've given these steps some simple names: the search, the handshake, and the conversation. It's a really easy way to think about a super technical process. I mean, it makes sense, right? First, you've got to find your dance partner in the crowd. Then you introduce yourself, and only then can you actually start the conversation. So let's dive into Act 1, the search. In a world that is just buzzing with all sorts of radio frequencies, how does your phone even begin to find that one specific 5G signal it's looking for? Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because 5G kind of created a problem for itself. See, with 4G, what we call LTE, finding the network was simple. That mean signal was always parked right in the same spot, dead center of the channel, super predictable. But 5G is all about being flexible and using these huge channels. That means a signal could be anywhere in that massive space. It's literally like trying to find a needle in a haystack. So how do you solve that? Well, with something really clever called the synchronization raster. Just think of it like a treasure map. Instead of having to search the entire haystack, the map tells your phone, hey, just check these specific spots. It makes the whole search process incredibly fast and way more efficient. And what's the treasure it's looking for at those spots? It's a little packet of info called the Synchronization Signal Block, or SSB. It's got all the basic info the phone needs to get started. But here is the absolute key to understanding 5G. These SSBs aren't just broadcast out in every direction. They're sent out in these narrow, focused paths called beams. Remember that. Beams are everything. Okay, so our phone has found a beam, it's heard the SSB, it's found its dance partner. Now it's time for step 2, the handshake. Your phone needs to formally introduce itself to the network. But wait, this creates a whole new puzzle. The cell tower is sending out tons of these beams, maybe hundreds of them. So how does your phone tell the tower, hey, over here, I heard that specific beam you sent in this direction, without the tower having to just shout its reply in every single direction at once? Because that would be a huge waste of energy. The answer is this absolutely brilliant concept that's really at the heart of 5G's efficiency. It's called beam correspondence. This is just a perfect example of how 5G works smarter, not harder. Beam correspondence basically means the network sets up a system where each beam it sends out is linked to a specific way of saying hello. So the way your phone chooses to start the handshake itself tells the network exactly which beam it heard and therefore which direction it's in. And this handshake happens in 4 quick steps. First, your phone sends a little hello signal. Because of beam correspondence, the tower knows exactly which beam to use to reply. No guesswork. Then, your phone sends its official ID, and finally, the tower says, got it, you're connected. And just like that, the dance can begin. So, just to really nail this down, the network creates a secret code linking a certain type of handshake to a certain beam. The phone uses the code for the beam it heard best, and boom, the network knows exactly where to aim its response. No shouting into the void. It's an incredibly efficient and intelligent system. All right, on to our final act. The connection is made, the dance is in full swing, but now how do you keep that connection stable, fast, and efficient? This is where we get into the conversation. Now, to really appreciate how smart 5G is here, you have to look back at 4G again. LTE used this one single reference signal for pretty much everything. And the key thing is, it was always on. It was constantly transmitting across the entire channel, whether your phone needed it or not. Think of it like a light left on in an empty room, just constantly burning power. And this table just makes the difference so clear. Look at the LTE column. Always on, always on. It's a one-size-fits-all approach. Now look at 5G. It's got a whole toolkit of specialized signals that are all on demand. It has a specific tool for checking channel quality, a different one for decoding your data, and even a super specialized one for high-frequency bands. And each tool in this kit has a very specific job. DMRS is the workhorse. It helps decode your data, and it's placed right at the front of the transmission for super low latency. CSIRS is like the navigator, always checking the signal path so you can switch beams seamlessly. And PTRS is the specialist, the surgeon that comes in to fix tiny errors on those ultra-fast millimeter wave frequencies. So let's tie this all up. We've gone through this whole invisible choreography. What does it all mean for the 5G we actually use every day? Here's the most important thing to understand. The real revolution with 5G isn't just that it's faster, it's that it is fundamentally more intelligent. It's designed from the ground up to be more precise, more efficient, and way more adaptable than any wireless tech we've had before. So, if you're going to take away 3 things from all this, let it be these. First, the sync raster gave your phone a map to solve the where's the signal problem. Second, beam correspondence solved the which direction are you in problem. And third, those on-demand signals solved the huge always-on energy waste problem from 4G. This quote on the screen just sums it up perfectly. This huge philosophical shift from an always-on brute force method to a surgical on-demand approach, that is the secret sauce to 5G's incredible efficiency and performance. And so this invisible dance, the search, the handshake, the conversation, it's happening right now, billions of times a day, on devices all over the world. It's the silent, foundational process that makes our modern connected world possible. It really makes you wonder, right? With a connection this smart and this efficient, what incredible new things are we going to build on top of it next?